to another tasty episode of In the Kitchen with Sandy, and today I'm going to share with you my recipe for a very quick and easy homemade spaghetti sauce. Now this got it? This spaghetti sauce is so easy and it's so delicious that you're not going to want to buy from the store anymore. It's so simple to make. It just requires just a few ingredients you probably already have at home, and it makes a big old pot of it, and it's so good and it's so tasty. There's nothing like homemade spaghetti sauce. Now I'm going to go over what we will be using, and this is going to simmer on your stove for about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours maximum, depending on how thick you want it. But you gotta trust me when I tell you, this is absolutely amazing, and you just really need to try this. So let's go over what we will be using. In here I've got some ground chuck. This is my ground chuck hamburger, and you'll notice I have some here too. I'm making spaghetti and meatballs. Now what I like to do is make just, this is going to be just light spaghetti sauce with meat. It's just going to have a little bit of meat in it, but I did want a little bit of meat consistency. Plus I'm going to be throwing in some meatballs, so it's going to be on the money. You're gonna have to trust me on this. So in this bowl here, I have a little bit of the ground chuck that I'm going to use to loosely stir fry, so that's going to be the meat portion of my spaghetti sauce, and the bigger one is going to be my meatballs. And then we're also going to be using some chopped onions here, and in here I have this is your deliciousness right here in this little area here. I have some Italian seasoning, a little bit of crushed red peppers, some garlic powder, and some onion salt. We're going to use 1 egg. Lots of chopped garlic. It's gonna be so delicious. I can't even tell you. A bay leaf. I'm going to use a couple bay leaves, some extra virgin olive oil, and this is just tomato sauce. I've got 3 cans here. You do not have to rush out and buy the expensive tomato sauce, because if you're looking on the back of the cans, they're all the same. You know, go ahead and get the cheap brand of that. That's perfectly fine. And I have some Italian seasoned breadcrumbs. And this is a can of just the diced tomato, some salt and pepper to taste. Now what we're going to do is we're going to get our meatballs started. So what I'm going to do here in this mixture, I'm just going to take my finger and just swirl it around there. And everything that you do to your meatballs, you're going to do to your sauce. So it's just going to be so loaded with flavor. So we're going to take some of this mixture here, stir it around real good, and we're going to put it right in our meatballs. You don't need a whole lot because your breadcrumbs has the meatballs, breadcrumbs has the meatballs. Your breadcrumbs have the Italian seasoning as well, and your diced onion. Now I'm not going to put diced onion in the sauce, but I do, however, want that in my meatballs. 1 egg, and then we're going to use about half the garlic, because the other half is going to go right directly into the sauce. Now you have to remember that this is going to, what flavors you're putting in your meatballs is going to absolutely infuse the pasta sauce, and it's going to be amazing. And some breadcrumbs. I like to use the breadcrumbs because it makes for a more softer meatball. You can use crackers if you don't have breadcrumbs, but to me the texture of the meatball is just so much more softer if you use the breadcrumbs. But by all means, use what you have at home. Don't rush out. Fresh ground pepper, lots. And some salt. Now what I'm going to do here is make sure your hands are clean. You're going to mix this around. Mix it up until it's well combined. Okay, I told you this is going to be 1 pot. So what we are doing in our big pot that we had planned on using for our sauce, we're going to add a little bit of olive oil, and we're going to let that come up to temperature, and we are going to throw I already rolled my meatballs, so I want you to look at them. This is the size that I like to make mine. Now you can make them bigger, smaller, what preference that you like. But I'm going to go ahead and add those to the bottom of the pan there. Get a look down in there, get a looksy. Pardon me. I'm just going to pop them in there with my fingers. It'd be much easier. And we are just going to brown these on all sides. It might take maybe 4 or 5 minutes max. Just kind of roll them around in there. And you might have to do them in different, segments of them, because these are kind of big. This is the way I like my nose. And we are going to go ahead and brown these, and then we are going to lay them on a paper plate lined with, not foil, with a paper towel, because we're going to drain them of the grease. I'm just tongue-tied today. Of the grease that's going to render from the hamburger, because I really don't want that hamburger or the ground chuck grease in my spaghetti sauce. So we're going to lay those on a paper plate to drain them, and then we will get the sauce started. My meatballs, I brown them on all the sides. As you can get, they don't really have a side, they're round, so I brown them completely. Now these are not cooked all the way, so make sure the little kitties don't come in there and grab them and eat them. So the next thing you're going to do is add your hamburger, and the pan's still hot. You're not going to drain any of that grease off there just yet. We are going to drain some of it off there, but not just yet. And we are going to stir this around and fry this up for just until it's completely cooked. Okay, look down in here. This is what I've done. I went ahead and drained the remaining grease that was rendered from my ground chuck. It's already got a little bit of that olive oil infused in it where we browned the meatballs. Now what you're going to do is you're going to add your fresh garlic. And then you're going to throw in your remaining seasonings. This is going to be delicious. Oh, I wish you could smell it in here. It smells so delicious already. Your house is going to smell amazing. Throw in your tomatoes. And you're just going to let all this just cook away. And it's going to be the best that you have ever eaten. And then you want to go ahead and just throw in all of your tomato sauces. Look what a pot of spaghetti sauce. And you're going to add your bay leaf. I'm not kidding you, this will feed a huge family. You got 2 bay leaves going in there. Pop, pop. And once your sauce is done cooking, you want to make sure that you remove those before your family or your guests to eat. You don't want them to get choked on a bay leaf. That would be just terrible. And then we're going to use a little, I didn't show you this over at when we was going over the ingredients, but you're going to need just a little bit of sugar. Just a little bit. Okay, now what we're going to do is we are going to bring this up to a boil and let it start cooking. And we're going to simmer this for about 30 minutes. My spaghetti sauce has been simmering away for about 35 minutes, give or take a couple minutes. And I'm getting ready to add my meatballs, but right before you do, this is the perfect time to sample it, because you have to make sure that it has the right amount of ingredients. If it doesn't have enough garlic for you, doesn't have enough salt, the Italian seasoning, go ahead and add some more. I'm going to go ahead and add the meatballs in there. And then we're going to simmer this away for about another hour. And we are going to start our spaghetti. You can put this over anything you want to put it over. If you want to put it over spaghetti, put it over spaghetti. Any type of noodle you want to put it over. Look at this, absolutely gorgeous. This simmered for about 2.5 hours. And I'm putting some fresh Parmesan cheese. And this is so good. I'm telling you, you cannot get this. You can't buy this in a jar. This is absolutely delicious, and you need to try this. It's so loaded with all kinds of wonderful flavors. I'm gonna buy a meatball. You can taste the garlic and oh hell, I'm just taking the whole damn thing because I can't get it cut, so I'm just gonna try this. pop, make sure you give this a try. I've got the recipe for my lasagna uploaded already earlier in the year, so make sure you give this a shot. Let me know what you think about it. I'd love for you to comment, give me some feedback. So I'll see you next time. Bye. Whoa.